Let's swing from the NBA to the high school ranks and talk a little high school ball with the new head basketball coach of the GlenOak Golden Eagles, and that is Ryan McGonagle. Kind enough to join us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN, and of course, all of our social media platforms, including the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Coach McGonagle, good afternoon, and before I say anything else, congratulations on the new gig. How you doing today, partner?
I'm doing great, Sam. I appreciate you having me on.
You got it. Got the word a couple days ago that this was going to happen, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to reach out to Coach here in a couple days and make sure we get all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, and we can make this happen. And first of all, again, congrats on the job. And you, of course, no stranger to GlenOak, being in the halls for many years as a teacher, coming over from East Canton now, where you did a great job with the basketball program there. But, when Coach Rick decided he was going to come over here to Mount Union and start up the women's flag football program, I said to myself, I don't know if he's going to be able to do both. And we kind of had a couple discussions off record, and I was like, okay. And then I started thinking, well, who's going to apply? Who's going to get this job? And I think they knocked this out of the park. How quickly did this happen for you, Ryan?
It was a process. I went through the interview process and got offered the job, and told the kids at East Canton. So it was a bit of a process, but definitely something I'm really excited about. GlenOak was always and has always been the end goal for me. I live here. Obviously, I've taught here for many years. I actually believe, Sam, I had your son in class when he was a student at Glenwood, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I did, yeah. GlenOak was always the end goal for me. Definitely a place that I love and I cherish. So.
Outstanding. So I know it's always a quick turnaround, a whirlwind when things happen like this with your work life, your personal life. You're leaving one school, you're coming to another, so to speak, in another capacity in addition to what you were already doing. What have the last couple of days been like for you, and what's the plan now as you kind of hit the ground running as the new basketball coach?
Last couple of days, as you can imagine, have been busy, but an exciting busy. I've been meeting with some of the athletic department to talk over some of the plans. And, at the end of the day, this is a kid's business. So we're just going to make sure that we try to give the kids a great experience, and we're going to try to do things the right way.
Coach Ryan McGonagle, our guest. He is the new head coach of the GlenOak Golden Eagles, kind enough to spend some time with us here on the show, 1310 WDPN. So what are the first couple of things? Obviously, you want to, get a staff together and let everybody know how the program is going to be. What kind of philosophy now will you bring with you as the new head coach of GlenOak, coming over from East Canton? Your style, things that you want to do, things that you would like to get accomplished early on. What would those be?
Yeah, I would say our philosophy is probably a little bit different. Number one, we want to use the game of basketball to teach life lessons. Number two, we want to make sure we give our kids a great experience. And then number three, we want to put a product on the floor that the community can be proud of. And I say all that to say, for those that know me, they know I'm psycho competitive, and I do care about winning and losing. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we prepare the kids for the real world after basketball. We give them a great experience, and we try to win a lot of ball games doing that.
Ryan, if you could, in a capsule, your time at East Canton with the basketball program, what would you say?
I would say, and I say this with humility, but I think I'm proud to say that we're leaving East Canton basketball better than we found it. We put a lot of time, effort, and energy into the basketball program, and I had a great 5 years there. We were able to accomplish a lot of things, and we were able to do a lot of things there, just in terms of running the program, but also in terms of winning basketball games. We beat a Highland team, and anybody that knows basketball knows that that doesn't happen very often. We were able to beat a Highland team. We were able to take Malvern, who I think finished the regular season that year 22-0.
Mm-hmm.
We had them on the ropes, took them to overtime. So we were able to accomplish a lot of great things, and I really cherish and loved my time at East Canton.
Um, it's kind of cool. You'll be going from what's East Canton been the last couple of years, Ryan? Was it D5, D6 maybe in hoops?
D6, yep.
D6 in hoops. And now you'll be making that big jump over to the Division One, and so that's kind of be like an exciting thing for you. When did you start to fall in love with the sport of basketball? How young were you, and how did it happen for you?
Yeah, so my story is pretty unique, and I think it has really allowed me to relate to kids at a high level. Kind of grew up with a lot of adversity. I have two older brothers that dropped out of high school and have been in some legal trouble and battled some drug addiction. My father, growing up, battled some drug addiction. So for me, initially, basketball kind of, like it is for some kids, it was a coping mechanism. It was a way for me to deal with some of the negative things going on in my life. And honestly, I just fell in love with the game. And I'm blessed to say that I knew at a young age that I wanted to get into teaching and coaching, see if I could be a positive role model through basketball to a lot of young kids. So, yeah.
That's a great story. It sounds like obviously you've come through, and here you are now. Was there a coach, high school, college, NBA, that you kind of said, "Hey, I like this guy. I like the way he coaches. I like the way he motivates. I like the way he gets guys to do things." Anybody come to mind?
Yeah, I went to Tuskegee Valley High School, and I had a JV coach that just really poured into me and poured confidence into me. And I was kind of a late bloomer, and I think that has helped me a lot in coaching to never write kids off. But he's somebody that just poured a ton of confidence into me, and I think I became a better player because of him. And I think most importantly, I became a better person because of him. So his name is Dan Stotzer. I think he currently teaches at Buckeye Career Center. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm very thankful for how he poured into me as a young kid.
Ryan McGonagle is our guest. He's the new head basketball coach at GlenOak, joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. There has been years, Coach, I would say even decades, people look at GlenOak, they look at Plain Local and say, why can't they win? Why don't they win in this sport? Why don't they do it in this sport? They've got a million kids in the school system. What's the problem? What's going on? You are very determined. You said you are almost to the psycho point of being competitive and winning games, winning life, winning sports. What qualities, what extra juice do you bring to GlenOak that you can turn this thing around and not only just, maybe get to the 500 level, but compete for a Federal League title, compete maybe for a state title down the road? What do you bring there?
Yeah, I think first I have a ton of belief in GlenOak and the kids there. I think I have a great advantage that I probably know more kids in that school district by name than anybody, just being a PE teacher at the 5th and 6th grade level, where all kids take PE, and I'm able to build positive relationships with those kids early on. But I think the biggest thing, and I think this, Sam, that a lot of times players take on the personality of their head coach. And the way that we run things is we're always going to put the team's success first, and the team outcome is going to matter more than anything else. And I think in a lot of ways, my competitive nature has filtered and permeated through the teams that I've coached. And I think if you watch some of our teams play, you would be able to know that there's a difference between playing hard and competing. So I think we're just going to be able to get our kids to just compete at a really high level.
What are the first couple of goals that you have as the new coach at GlenOak now? Would it be maybe, I don't know, there's always schools, and it can be a small school, could be a big school, where sometimes the kids don't come out. They don't want to come out, and you got to kind of walk the halls and say, hey, would you be interested in coming out and playing and some other things? I know you're going to be able to build a great roster there with some great kids. What's the key in getting those kids out of the hallways and onto that practice floor once you start playing?
Yeah, I believe that we always try to do a great job in making basketball attractive and making it a great experience. This doesn't mean that we don't coach our kids tough.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly doesn't mean we don't hold our kids accountable, but I think just by making it attractive in a variety of ways and making sure we're intentional about giving kids a great experience, I think because of that, you build something that kids want to be a part of.
Coach, what's your take on Stark County basketball present day 2026? Obviously, the last couple of years have been, pretty good. Two teams going to the finals a couple of years ago. This past season, Massillon goes down and wins the whole thing. There's great coaching here. There's great schools. There's great tradition. What's your take on the Stark County basketball scene right now?
Love it. Absolutely love Stark County basketball. I mean, I've been a head coach at Lake Center. I've been a head coach at East Canton. I've been an assistant at St. Thomas. I've been an assistant at GlenOak. I think Stark County basketball and Stark County sports, some of the best in the state of Ohio.
What philosophy, I guess, I don't want to get too deep, but X's and O's wise, will you bring? Will you be the kind of a coach that's going to have a system or two in place and work the pieces in? Or is it going to be, okay, let me see what I got to work with, and then we'll make our plans from there?
Yeah, I definitely think you have to tailor your system to your players. And that's kind of an advantage coming from a small school. Our teams have been different every year. Lake Center, we had a team that played really fast and really free. We barely ever ran sets. We had 4 guys averaged up. Canton, we had a team, and that Lake Center team pressed for 32 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
East Canton, we had a team that played all zone, and we threw the ball in the post just about every possession. East Canton, we had another team where we kind of modeled the way Hooper's teams have used to play, where, we were trying to grind games out and win in the 30s and 40s. So we've definitely been flexible in adjusting our style of play to, just put our players in the best position to be successful.
Now, it sounds like you will certainly be able to adapt. I remember watching you. I didn't get a chance to do a lot of East Canton games, but I remember maybe a year ago I went over to, it might have been over at East Canton. Might have been a tournament game, and you had the big kid. Forget his name right now, but you guys would just throw the ball down there and just let him go. And it was a fun brand of basketball, and I know the community was really excited there. In going to GlenOak, what would your philosophy be, Coach, on scheduling outside of the league? What kind of a non-conference schedule would you like to put together for your group moving forward?
Yeah, I think you want to get to the point, and this is one thing that I definitely respect about how Tom Siegfried ran his program at Louisville. I think you definitely want to get to the point where you'll play anybody and you want to play some of the best teams in the state. So we would definitely like to progress to that. Now with that, there's no nights off in the Federal League,
mm-hmm.
But just who I am and who we want our teams to be is, we're going to compete, and we're certainly not going to back down from a challenge.
I know it's really early for you. Any idea who's going to be joining you on the bench once you get things fired up here coming up this winter?
We're working. We're going to start to work through that coaching staff. I have some interviews lined up next week. We're just very intentional about making sure we do our due diligence on who we bring on staff. I know Nathan Martin, who previously worked at the Hall of Fame. He's now a youth pastor. He was with me at Lake Center, and then he was with me my entire time at East Canton. Not only is he a great coach, but he's just a Hall of Fame person. I know for sure he'll be coming with me. And then other than that, we're just going to kind of work through our coaching staff.
Very good. Ryan McGonagle is our guest. He is the new head boys basketball coach at GlenOak, joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN, and all across our social media platforms. When I say high school basketball, what's the first thing that jumps into your mind?
Experience. Giving our kids a great experience.
When you look at short-term and long-term, let's just say, I don't know, we'll go with a 5-year plan here for right now. Where would you hopefully like to see this GlenOak program 5 years from today?
Yeah, I think the best coaches balance coaching their current team, but also preparing for the future. So I hope that in 5 years from now, we have this pipeline culture with our youth program. And there's some great youth programs around that model this, but we have this pipeline culture with our youth program that creates an excitement to play high school basketball at GlenOak High School.
And one more quick one before I let you go. I think we finished up the second year with the divisions going to 7. What is your take on that? How do you think that has worked out early on?
I don't have a strong opinion on that. I will say, having coached at a small school, I really did enjoy getting to see Denny Tucci and Malvern go to state, and that was a cool experience just because it was his last year.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're thinking about putting the kids first, I think it just gives more kids an opportunity to experience what it's like to go to the state tournament and play in some of those games.
Good stuff. Well, we're certainly hoping at some point the Golden Eagles can get down there, whether it's Dayton or wherever they're playing those games in the next several years. We hope certainly you guys can have a chance to get there, and we will watch you. We'll watch your journey, and we'll root you on. And I know we'll be in touch a lot when the basketball season comes to start. Ryan McGonagle, new head coach of the GlenOak Golden Eagles. I appreciate your time. I know you're busy. I know you're on the road right now, so thanks for giving us a few minutes. And enjoy the weekend. And best of luck in what comes as the new head coach of the Golden Eagles. All right.
Thanks, Sam. I appreciate you very much, man.
You got it, brother. There he goes. Ryan McGonagle, the new head coach of the GlenOak Golden Eagles. Think they're in pretty good hands there. And